Michael Jackson. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Nermeen Sheikh.
Protesters calling for the closure of Guantánamo have entered their fourth day of a hunger fast in Washington. The activists from Witness Against Torture plan to protest outside the Supreme Court on Friday, the 11th anniversary of the opening of the military prison. Well, today we turn to our part two of our exclusive interview with Samy Alhaj, the Al Jazeera journalist who was held without charge at Guantánamo for 6 years. On Tuesday, he described being arrested in Pakistan in December of 2001 while traveling to Afghanistan on a work assignment. He was then transferred to U.S. custody. He was first held at U.S. prisons in Kandahar and Bagram, then 6 months later taken to Guantánamo Bay. In U.S. detention, he says he was repeatedly beaten and tortured. Dogs attacked him and he was prevented from sleeping for days.
In January 2007, Samy Alhaj began a hunger strike to protest his imprisonment. It continued for 438 days until his release, May 2008. Well, when we were in Doha, Qatar, for the Climate Change Summit, I had a chance to conduct a rare interview with Samy Alhaj at Al Jazeera's headquarters in Doha, where he heads the network's Human Rights and Public Liberties desk. In this part of the interview, I asked him to describe how officials at Guantánamo force-fed him with tubes during his hunger strike.
They doesn't bring small tube, big.
They bring a tube that's too big to put up your nose and down into your stomach.
There. When they take it by force.
So they jerk it out of your nose?
Yes, some blood coming. Yes. And many times they didn't cleaning the tube. What they feed the other guys, they come and same thing. They give it to you.
They use the tube that they used in the person they have seated next to you, yes. And then they put it into you, yes. Without cleaning it.
Without cleaning. You see the blood and everything.
You see the
inside,
blood.
Yes.
Did you say when they would take the tube of a man next to you and put it into you, shove it down through your nose into your stomach, would you say something? Did you ask why they are doing this?
Yes, they told us, we want you to break your hunger strike. They tell us directly like that. They asked us to break our hunger strike. They said, we never deal with you as a detainees until you break your hunger strike.
Why did you go on hunger strike, Samy Alhaj?
I go in hunger strike for many reasons. First reason, we are in Guantánamo without charge. Without court. They doesn't give us chance to go to court and talk about our case. Even when civilian court in USA accept our case, also they put something in our way. This is the first one. The second one, also they kill 3 guys in Guantánamo. That Yasser al-Zahrani and Mali al-Atibi and Ali from Yemen. 3 people, they killed them in Guantánamo and they said they killed themselves. They said they committed suicide. I told them, we told them, you should tell us how they killed themselves. And the third thing, also, they doesn't allow for us to call our family or to do any communication with them.
In the 7 years that you were detained, did you ever see your wife?
Nothing.
Your child?
No, not my wife. Even I didn't saw child. When I get my release after 7 years, the first child I saw it, my son. At that time he become 8 or 9 years. I leave him baby and found him is 9 years. The first one I saw it in hospital when they return me back in hospital child is my son, Muhammad. We didn't see child, we didn't see family, just letter from them. And even that letters, they put cross in some.
They censored yes. much of the letters.
Yes.
What did they censor out?
Nothing. Just they said me, your son now reach this years, and he gets this mark in school or like that.
And what did the military censors cross out?
What?
Did they cross out?
the mark of my son
They would cross out
Yes.
the grade that he got in school?
Yes, 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 that word. If they said he asked about you, also they crossed. If he said Jazeera done anything for you, they mentioned. Sometimes they bring for me the letters, dear, my husband, at last, goodbye your wife.
The whole letter was censored.
I have a copy of it now with me.
On you right now?
Yes, I have it in my home.
So it just
Yes.
said,
Just only.
Dear Sami.
Yes, yes.
And from your wife, but the
Yes,
whole
yes.
letter is crossed out.
Cross it, yes.
And did you ask your wife when you saw her, what did she write in this letter?
My wife, after I get it?
Yes.
Just, she said for me, I told you, our family news. Yes, nothing more.
So describe the day you were released. What day was it?
That day is the 1st of May.
The
1st of May.
1st of May.
2008, yes.
Did you know you were going to be released?
Yes, because I met Clive Stover Smith. He told me before that they decide to release you. And even I met a group of people coming from government of Sudan. Also, they told me that things. And also group of Qatar's government also come and visit me.
Here, Qatar?
There, yes.
And they came to you?
Yes, in Guantánamo. And also they told me that things. Last, I met the Red Cross. They asked me, did you have any objection to go to Sudan to return? But I told them no. At last, I don't know when it will be, but they said, we decide to release you. At last, they came and take me to some military court, and they said, we decide to release you and return you back to Sudan, but you are still our enemy. And you should sign for us a paper. You never leave Sudan, travel out of Sudan, and you are never work in journalist field. And I didn't sign.
You refused?
I refused, yes, to sign that.
Were you still on hunger strike that day?
Yes.
So they
Yes.
put a feeding tube in you that day?
Yes, I break my hunger strike in Sudan after I arrived at Sudan in hospital.
So what was it like? They took you onto a plane at Guantánamo? They put you on a plane on Guantánamo?
Yes, in plane in Guantánamo, me and two people from Sudan, and
did they put bags on your head?
Same thing. 7 people from Afghanistan, and the aircraft take off from Guantánamo and landing in Baghdad, in Iraq, one journey. And then they changed their aircraft and sent me to Sudan. And we have another guy with us from Morocco. They sent him to Morocco from Sudan.
And when you landed in Khartoum, was your family there?
No, my family at that time in Doha, but they came to me because when I came to Sudan, because the journey is too long and my situation, so I was I didn't understand where I was and I didn't feel anything. I opened my eyes, I find myself in hospital, Sudan, yes. After 5 or 6 hours, my wife and my son arrived.
Did you recognize your son?
Of course, of course. By feeling, not by face, yes. From feeling, I recognize him, yes.
How long were you in the hospital there?
I spent about 2 weeks, and then I continued yes, here in Doha.
And you resumed your work at Al Jazeera?
Yes, I was working in Jazeera. I continued my work with the Jazeera, and Jazeera established a new department. It's called Public Liberty and Human Rights, and that take care about human rights news and also make training for our people of Jazeera about human rights, and we have also cooperated with organizations who work in human rights and liberties like International Red Cross and UN and UNESCO, and all those we have agreement with them and cooperated.
Sami, how do you cope with what you have been through?
When I was in Guantánamo, I asked myself, it's a bad situation, but I asked myself, maybe it is a good chance for me to be a journalist inside Guantánamo, to see the situation there and to be a witness of that section, about that things. And when I get my release, I will tell the outside people about that thing. But also, it is that things, 7 years, it is harm myself, but at the same thing, also I find some positive things, like I believe in journalists, but after that things, also I'm believing now in human rights. I'm believing in freedoms. I know the situation of people who are losing their freedoms, how, and the sufferings, really. So I'm happy when I get my release to return back to my field and my family at Jazeera. And also I work in the field of protect journalists and to help the people who are looking for help for freedom or human being or like that things.
Do you suffer from flashbacks?
Of course. Of course, 7 years is not easy to forget everything. Still, in dream, I woke up at the middle night and I saw some dream. I'm still inside Guantánamo or like that. And also because I miss my family for 7 years. Still the relationship between me and my wife and between me, my son, it's not like a normal people's. Still I like to be sitting in place, quiet. There is no, because we are 7 years, we are under the light. It's not allowed for us to close the light at night. Even the shouting, I didn't like dog at all. Something psychological things happened. But for myself, if I compare myself with the other detainees, I will find me is very better than the other people. I returned to my family and I found them are okay and Jazeera take care about them. I find job, but other detainees, they doesn't find job. They doesn't return back to their family. I know one journey. I know one from Algeria. They keep him in Guantanamo for 6 years, and he returned back to Algeria now, and he is free, but he's far away from his wife. His wife in Pakistan, and he doesn't show their family until now. Some of them are suffering from some illness, but they doesn't find someone to help them, and many of them they doesn't have job. Some of them they lock them again in jail in their country, and many sufferings people. Rehabilitation for them it is not completed until now. Nobody want to help them. Everybody he knows those people are terrorists and coming from Guantanamo. Nobody allowed for them to travel. Even they doesn't have a passport or some document to leave their country or to go pass somewhere. Still they consider them are tourist people.
Do you plan to sue the U.S. government for what happened to you?
Of course, if I'm trying to open a case against Bush administration and Bush himself. We established an organization in Geneva. It's called Guantánamo Judges Center. And we established that
Guantánamo Justice Center.
we have three reasons for that. The first reason, to help the people still located in Guantánamo to find another country to accept them. Second, to rehabilitation for the other people who are get released. Third thing, to make judges for the people by following Bush and his administration. And now we open a case against Bush in Geneva when he trying to visit Geneva, but he's cancelled that in March 2011.
He canceled his
Yes,
trip.
he canceled. And we're trying to make for him case when he want to visit Canada. But Canada doesn't accept it, our case. Now we have a case against Canada also. And we try to open for him a case. He also, Pervez Musharraf, the president of Pakistan, is now in London. We try to open a case against him. But also me and other people, they understand that what is happening for us in Guantanamo, that not means all Americans are same like Bush and his administration. There is some people are good, like Clive Stover Smith, like Corey, like Zachary. They came for us 1,000 meals from their family to help us. They doesn't get any payment for that help. They believe that is wrong. And many of them, I met him after I get my release, and they said we are against what is going there in Guantanamo. But I surprised at same times when Obama become a president. He promised first to close Guantanamo, but he doesn't keep his promise. I wish he keep his promise in this period during these years.
What else do you have to say to President Obama?
I ask him to keep his promise to close Guantanamo. Guantanamo is a shame for USA. Obama, he come to clear Bush administration history, bad history for. I respect USA before Guantanamo. I respected USA because I believe it USA is a democracy country and they fighting for democracy. The people who are created USA, they created for democracy, for freedoms. I read the history of USA before Guantanamo and after Guantanamo. But I think what is done by Bush administration, they distributed all the honors of USA at that time. Obama, he tried to clear that things, but he promised to close Guantanamo, but he doesn't close it.
Samy Alhaj, the only journalist ever detained at Guantanamo, spent 6 years there without charge. He now heads the Human Rights Department at Al Jazeera in Doha, Qatar. For part one of the interview with the Al Jazeera journalist, you can go to our website at democracynow.org. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. Back in a minute. Thanks so much for watching this report from Democracy Now!, your daily independent global news hour. We don't accept advertising or corporate funding, but rather rely on donations from viewers like you. Please make your contribution by visiting democracynow.org. We need your support today to keep bringing you this hard-hitting, in-depth reporting.